button. Hit it was. Hit it was. Live we are.
It's funny, if you'd told you from 1.5 minutes ago, so you're going to do a Yoda voice, you're like,
why?
What?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you did. just want to point that out a little bit. Hello, Stuart. How you doing?
Good. Halloween to you too. I mean, it's not Halloween. But we're on the road to Halloween, so we figured why not.
Is it Highway to Halloween?
Highway to Halloween.
Sure. Yes. Yeah, because next week be the Lower Decks week. So there might not be every day's worth of content, but there might be, because 2 episodes. So we wanted to give ourselves the ability to give this the Halloween love that deserves. Because who on earth knows what, right? We've got Lower Deck starting in like 35, 50, 60 hours, whatever. Really soon.
That's scary. Well, that just gives me a chance to remind everybody that on Thursdays I do my first reaction to the episode at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So check that out. And then generally we do a review on Friday. Not this week. It'll be the following Monday that we'll do it because things...
That'll feel like a very dense week because we'll have an episode, a break, an episode. So,
yeah.
Because that happened, gosh, for like a Stranger Worlds Lower Decks like crossover one where it was like we had to do 2 and it was like this week hasn't stopped. Why is this constant trek? Yes. That be happening. But what's the topic of today's?
Well, I mean, scary moments or episodes of Trek. There are a few that the episode itself is pretty scary, but there are others where it's just a few scary moments. So, I mean, we were going to do this one last year or the year before, that's sidelined by something, so we didn't even have a chance to use this amazing thumbnail. But
which then rejig it to be.
Yeah, we pulled her out of mothballs for this.
There we go. And this is very much a conceptual live, as in your definition of scary, a moment, an element. There's a lot of flexibility here, right? So I mean, I'm very interested to see where this plays, because if you're trying to think what is scary, what comes to mind? I'm not even sure, right? I mean, obviously Wrath of Khan, etc. But interested to see what you guys decide and pick, because that will be, where your brains go. So I'm gonna start sharing and get back to you in a second.
All right, well, 20 of you here, which is fantastic. Only 8 likes, which is not great. Let's get those likes up. Not a banned account. If you read the pinned rules, we'd like $5 minimum for this one, just because there aren't that many scary moments. So we don't want to plow through them all with smaller super chats. So just saying. Anyway. Yes, super chatting helps out the channel immensely. Thank you so much to Not a Band Account for doing that. But any of you that want to submit your choice, that's a perfect way to do so to support the channel. Also hitting just hitting that like button and getting those likes up to 20 would be fantastic. We want to hear your scary moments from Trek. We will talk about them and try to rank them or put them on a tier list, see where they stack up. Now, there are also full episodes, but we'll get into that in a second. Anyway, regardless, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Click the bell notification icon to all, because, not being subscribed, that's totally scary. And not being notified, of course, is also terrifying as well. So by all means, make sure you've done all the things you need to do to get notified of our content, live or edited. And also, there is a join button down there. Click the join button so you can be part of the fleet when we do our Lower Decks breakdowns and all that cool stuff that we have coming up for Lower Decks. You want to have your name in the credits, so click the join button or head on over to Patreon/Trekyards. It's another way you can support us on a monthly basis, which we very much appreciate. So anything you can do to help out, we really appreciate, and we absolutely love you guys. So please do what you can to help us out. And yes, anyway, moving on. There are links also down below to the Teespring and the TeePublic store, some cool Trekyards merch there, and we would encourage you to go check that stuff out. We've been throwing around the idea of doing a new batch of some merch, so consider that as well. But put some stuff in your cart, and if you want to wait, TeePublic usually has really good sales, so you can get some good prices on the TeePublic stuff. So Yeah.
Very good sales.
And look at that. Sam is back.
Hello.
That's the scariest moment of all.
Oh.
S tier.
Ah. So many mixed feelings.
Really?
Yeah. Now, so I'm going to get the live suggestions up. Is there anything that you instantly jumps to mind as scary?
Yes. One of my favorite episodes of Enterprise, Impulse, with the zombie Vulcans. It's a pretty terrifying episode in and of itself. That instantly jumps to my mind, as well as, of course, Schisms with the interdimensional beings abducting people. Those are the two that really jump to my mind. There might be some other ones that kind of creep in. I mean, Cat's Paw stands out just because they actually mentioned Trick or Treat in it. But it's, yeah, but those two are actually scary. Like, Impulse is like a horror movie set in Star Trek. So, yeah, that's the ones that stand out to me. How about you? Do you have any that just automatically pop into your brain pan?
Like I said, Rathacon for all the vibes, right? It's not quite the same, but the rather unpleasant Riemann in Deanna's mind. It's scary as an abstract word, but it's like. Ugh.
You said Wrath of Khan twice now. I think you mean Nemesis.
Same with Nemesis. Yeah, that's not scary. It's like, ugh, dear me. Again, not quite the same thing, but what goes to mind is Void, when the crew is alone in the dark and everyone kind of like is antsy and like it's not. Because Trek is not innately a scary thing, so therefore that for me is like, oh, don't like this.
Yeah, and there's one other moment that sticks out to me a little bit as you were talking. The morgue scene with Beverly, where all the bodies sit up. I believe that was in Night Terrors.
That's a good shout. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a primal fear, like the dead rising up, right? So.
And it might not be literal, but having the moment where the one where the Romulan Deredex and the Enterprise D are locked, when Picard sees the cloud smiling and he kind of laughs creepily, knowing that he might now be dying because of like that's in its own way the fact that it's so weird is kind of scary. It's a small thing, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, so guys, put on your Halloween hats. Think of scary stuff in Trek that resonates with you or has stuck with you over the years. Like I said, there are a few for me. Even I can't remember the name of the episode, but the one where Geordi transforms into that being.
That was a super chat, as I'm getting reference for right now.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
I think was, not scary so much as, well, I don't know. It was scary, but not horror scary. It was just kind of like, I don't know.
No, I think this list is going to be super subjective. And
yeah.
I'm absolutely fine with the entire broad spectrum. Like, again, same but different. The Worf de-evolved creature chasing
Genesis,
or even seeing Crusher, Troy, like drowning. Like, it's creepy, scary. Like it is. There's something there, right? So yeah, 100% agree. I've got the first couple. Just doing the last shot. Thank you so much. Putting some.
I think we're on slide 11.
Yes.
Okay, because I don't see anything in there yet. So
yes,
we'll get there in a second, guys.
What band?
Not a Band account starts out with $2. TOS Cat's Paw. Someone is playing a Trick or Treat. I already explained to Not a Band account. At least $5 for this one because I don't think there's a lot of super spooky moments in Trek. So
you're a classic, so we'll call that. Oh, literally, huh? So we'll call that the exception. But yes, 5. Yeah, 5 to join the fun. But we'll do it anyway.
Yeah, Cat's Paw. I mean, it has Sylvia in it. There's Sylvia in it. But yeah, it's literally it's literally a haunted house kind of episode. So much so there's a castle with a spooky face and all that, and black cats, and it's definitely very trick or treaty or Halloweeny as we would say. But trick or treat is mentioned in it, so. And the premise is quite interesting as well. These aliens are kind of messing with the humans to get some fear responses out of them. And A huge giant black cat I don't find super terrifying, but
It was a different time back then.
yeah, wrapped up with everything else, like the dungeon and the skeleton in the dungeon, all that stuff. There's a lot of stuff there that definitely falls under the trope of typical Halloween decorations and stuff. So, yeah, this one has to be talked about. Yeah.
But I unfortunately don't remember the episode that much. I scrolled it, I remember the visuals, but not enough of the story. So I'll leave that up to you for rankings. I don't remember it enough to be able to judge. It's not a lot looked scary in it, but I think lots of the dialogue and the tone is what I'm guessing.
Yeah,
which is fine. Just it wasn't. There's no giant bunny to be scary.
That could be scary to some people, honestly. No, this one I see. As much as this is the stereotypical Halloween episode kind of deal, it does not deserve an S tier. It's not really that scary. And we could just be seeing it from our perspective in this day and age as opposed to when it was new in the 60s. But I don't really get a lot of creepy horror vibes off of it necessarily. Cliche-wise, 100% would be an S. But
if anything, maybe Trelane's more scary. Because now, being not literally scary, but conceptually scary is almost more scary now? Potentially, right?
Yeah, so...
in the Pantheon, Stuart, you got all the power here. What are you thinking?
I would say C for this one.
Okay.
Kind of sets the stage of like I said, the cliche, typical Halloween stuff. But there are stuff that I think some people might find scary that I might find less scary.
Okay, vote now in the chat. Who would like to see us do an episode review of this month? I don't remember it enough to be able to, as you see, give a score. So put in the chat now, would you join in super chat your thoughts, comments, and questions for a Cat's Paw break of tradition episode review breakdown?
Like how we kind of piecemeal out TOS. We've done Enterprise Incident as a test, and now we're going to do this one. Yeah.
Oh, you know. I mean, they're also standalone, right? You don't necessarily need the evolution in the same way.
It's a good idea. Let us know in the comments.
That's nice.
But there you go, not a band account. You got her in there. So, JW is next with £5. TNG Identity Crisis. That scene where Geordi uses the holodeck to find out an alien was watching the way team was creepy. Great use of the holodeck. Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Which is the Geordi one.
Yeah, that scene in particular where there's this shadow and they're like, what's projecting that shadow? And you use the holodeck to figure it out. Another great use of the holodeck. And it's funny that at least 2 of these horror episodes we're going to talk about, I'm sure, use the holodeck to kind of recreate the instance, right? So
yeah. Nice. It's a hell of a tool, right? Hell of a tool.
Yeah. So yeah, this was creepy for the fact that they were being watched that entire time years ago, and now you've got Geordi and the lady kind of are transforming. 2 of the other team members have already transformed and gone down to the planet, and they're trying to figure out what happened. So it's like I said, it's not really got a horror vibe to it, but it does. It's kind of psychological, as you know, you can't control what's happening, right? So, but yeah, that scene in particular with the holodeck I found very creepy. Just that unknown shadow watching them. So
yeah, it's kind of a body horror situation.
Yes, there's a lot of body horror in Star Trek, actually.
Yeah, if you can't necessarily freak people out, you can show them things that will freak them out, and it's up to the censors to let through or not. No, this I remember really being appreciative when we reviewed it. I knew the premise, but it was so much better than I remember it being. And having skimmed it briefly, the fact that the first scene is season 1 Geordi uniform is such a beautiful. You know, they almost never did that, right? Go back to the original uniform. But this is a really good episode, really interesting. The lights were a factor, like the shadow. Very intelligent way of doing things.
You're not showing the slide; it's just the thumbnail.
Thank you. That's the problem with doing everything. Yes, alien creature, great. The effects are great. This is a really well done suit. I mean, pretty much everything in it was rather good. I think we got really high marks. And yeah, it is creepy. It is gross, and it feels genuinely. So I would give this a very high B into A, because I think the body horror was very effective, and it made me feel things in the episode. So I would actually be happy to give this a low A. The contrast would be different, but I think this is getting there.
So you said B and A, so low A, you mean, right?
No, I'm saying where would you value? Because I would say either both. I could be. What do you think?
I would say probably an A for this one for me. And yeah, I agree with the low A kind of aspect of it.
Yeah.
I could probably be talked down to a B depending on contrast
Oh.
between episodes, but we'll have to see. But yeah, we'll put it at B for now. Or, sorry, A.
Yes.
Oh my God. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, it's just
Words.
effective, right?
So, yeah.
Good shout. Good.
And not having control over what's happening to you again.
Yeah, and the slow burn. Such a slow episode, yeah. Yeah. Very good shout.
Royston S. Bailey, $5. Data taking over the Enterprise D and Brothers without explanation and looking possessed.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these aren't scary once you've watched the entire episode. Well, yes, that's true. This would never have registered to me on this list, honestly. Yes, he does look a little possessed. And using other people's voices, like these disembodied voices coming out of him, essentially. Not scary, in my opinion, but I can see how, at the time, it would have been like, what is happening? But I didn't see it as terrifying. He's not going to kill the crew to take the ship. He's just taking the ship.
Well,
right?
you didn't know that, in fairness. At the scene
maybe I did. You don't know.
Oh, sorry, you're a script supervisor, weren't you? At the time. Now, without context, this could have been way worse, right? So, but as you say, knowing the context is less. But, you know, it could have been worse.
Yeah. Nothing else really scary in it, honestly.
Yeah, I know the context that they're going for in this because it is creepy.
Yes.
And performance, it's amazing how often a flat, not literally flat, but that's what they're going for, is effectively horror vibed. But it's flat, but it's the loss of control. It's the oh no-ness of it. And certainly at the time of that context, you'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just Data. Like, he's an android. It's not like he's possessed. He's just been reprogrammed or something. I don't know. I would, like I said, I never would have gauged this on this chart. I never would have even thought it. Wouldn't have crossed my mind.
Well, that's why our audience are geniuses. Geniuses! That's
why these viewers' choice are fun, because you guys think of things that we necessarily wouldn't have if we did a top 10 or something, right? So.
Yeah, I think in this list, I would still give it an F. I mean, I'm obviously going to give it an F. But I think I still would, even though I see the creep, but there are far more creepy Data losing control moments.
Oh, there's some scarier ones where he gets possessed, literally by an alien.
I mean, that mask episode, man, real scary.
Not that. Wow. Usaka.
When the walls fell? No, it's different. So yeah, not quite, but I understand the vibe.
I understand why it was mentioned, yes. I just don't agree at all that it's had anyway horror. So, all right.
Cool.
Not a Band Account throws in $5. Star Trek TOS Season 2, Episode 7, Catspaw. As a young kid, it was terrifying when the red shirt fell off the pad. Yes. Witches, skeletons, magic. Does that mean you want a bumped up one? Because we did actually give you the special. Like, that one has to be on there. It's a good way to start out. So, I should also make the picture big again because they completely missed it.
Blame the demons. Fault of,
yes,
demons.
The YouTube's was possessed.
YouTube possessed, yes.
But we've classed it as a C. I'm going to keep it there for now.
No, Not a Band does want it up. Yeah.
Oh, he does?
Okay.
All right. It goes up to B.
And if you guys want to watch watch it, I'm interested to see how it holds up.
Yeah, I can't wait to review some TOS stuff.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, my dad always just lets me know how good they are out the blue. I've watched this episode. It's amazing. I'm like, well, I know, but also like, okay, cool, thank you. The fact that you know what I mean, but the fact they are such good just drama. Yeah. They are more theatre now than TV.
All Star Trek was theatre. You can tell by the title names.
Well, yeah. But that's the thing, they're aging in that wonderful way. So
yes.
And the stories, if the stories are good, right? Yeah. And I gotta commend Schmobody. Wonderful choice. You have absolutely won my admiration for that choice. So Thank you. And as we continue...
All right, well, moving on. Schmobody throws in $5 and says, Schisms, TNG, lots of creep and those clicks. Yes, Schisms would definitely be on my list, as I said early on. Yes, for the weird, creepy insect-like clicking, the interdimensional beings that are pulling your bodies while you sleep and cutting arms off and reattaching them.
Or what else, even.
And it was never really
Nope.
solved, I don't think.
Nope.
Like, they could come back at any point.
They lived. That was as far as we got.
Yeah. And also sleep paralysis, which is a huge thing for a lot of people. Being awake, but not being able to move. So you can see what's going on, you can hear what's going on, and you're just stuck. Absolutely terrifying. 100%. And like one of the best parts of that was showing how the holodeck worked and recreating everybody's memories to recreate the operating table and the room that they were in. Very well done, very well played, and terrifying.
Yeah, no, 100%. This one, I think, I'm going to start with a discredit, but really it's to credit something else. The payoff of the creatures isn't as scary as the setup. But that's not the point of the episode, right? They are just aliens, just beaming them away. That's absolutely fine, right? So this tells you what episode it is. But this isn't the scary bit. The scary bit is the scene where the build-up of the tension is so tremendous, and the music, everyone looks like shit, and Deanna's awful hair, and random extra people who we sort of don't know, but I think we recognise kind of, and everyone working together in it. And I think anyone would feel creeped out with a shared nightmare. There's something about that that's even worse, right? The fact they're able to as a group. It's a horrifying idea, and it makes me feel uncomfortable, as I remember the scene feeling the first time. Just it's very successful. So the end is not scary, although it's effective, but that one scene is a horror factor that is tremendous.
For me, this one's an S.
I think the effect is an S.
Yeah, the payoff, not so much.
Yeah.
Yes, the atmosphere of the entire episode is very...
The success of what it attempted should be S.
Yes.
And certainly for the time. Which, again, if no one wants to put in something like the Riker Insane Asylum, also similar in its own way of successful creep factor, and like that will also be on this list, I think, for vibe. And it's funny, we don't often talk about these episodes because none of the topics need these. So this is cool to about weird ones.
I know. That's why I was
so
psyched to do this episode.
You guys are
and it suits the time of year. So
yeah, I love looking at these things with different lenses to know what is and isn't. Yeah, love it.
Yeah. All right, next up is Ralston S. Bailey, $5. TNG Season 2 was good for this. First appearance of the Borg Cube, coupled with the great background music. The first appearance of Nagilum on the view screen.
And of course we did the first one of those, so Borgy Borg.
The Borg, yes. Unstoppable, hive-brained zombies, essentially, with a ship that can repair itself very quickly. And also overtake you, or at least out-endure you. The Borg were very, for me, terrifying when they first appeared. Like, they seemed unstoppable. You know, you take one out, doesn't matter. They have this hive mind. They have one goal, to assimilate you. That's it. Or bite you, turn you into another zombie kind of vibe. And
that was early in the zeitgeist of zombies anyway.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. It was absolutely... I thought they were very terrifying at the time. Then they kind of got just like, oh, it's just another faction we got to deal with. Whoop-de-doo. So, but yeah, I think the original Borg were... That first episode, and to end on that cliffhanger of now your captain's been turned into one, you're probably never going to get him back, and then just to not know what's going to happen was very effective. So, yeah.
Although, as we have talked about in various episodes, the idea of that original Borg concept couldn't have gone beyond 1 or 2 episodes. There's not enough there.
Yeah, exactly.
By its very nature, it's flat, which is fine. They had to evolve it.
Well, if they had tied it with conspiracy bugs, like the conspiracy bugs created the Borg to, do their day-to-day work, and they were the brains behind it.
The antithesis of their appearance is cyborgs.
Yeah, and they were essentially the Queen controlling the Borg. That would have been kind of interesting. But yeah.
That's why there are, I think, with the, like 3 generations of Borg, depending on, and there's a link that links them all. Just you see a through line, which is tremendous. So this is obviously for me, it's more the body horror. These are great makeup. They're gross, and I'm gonna add a little bit of at the time because this obviously looks a bit not cheesy, but it's a guy with tubes with a bodysuit, but it's effective still. I always put the picture of the baby because but the baby was smiling, so it didn't quite work. But that concept is also kind of scary, that it breeds like that. You know what I was trying to do. There's also kind of creepy, and then the lostlessness of the end. And it is scary also to have to rely on the god being to save you, because we can't do it. But you know what? I'm gonna say high B, low A for Legacy Fanatics. I think it doesn't have the same effect that it could, should, would do, and there probably are better Borg ones. But I think it's respectfully high. But for me,
I was thinking B.
Perfect. Yep.
For Borg.
Yeah, I want to give gradient, right?
Because I think this would have come up before Cat's Paw for me.
Sure.
But Cat's Paw got bumped up, so that's fine.
I think of other
but yeah.
episodes that are... There's going to be at least one more creepy one. Actually,
Maybe.
the one with Chakotay, when he's his own collective, when we work out he's half assimilated and everyone reveals they've got hands, that's kind of creepy as well. Everyone's in mind. That's well done.
There's a lot with the Borg too, like you said, body horror, get your arms cut off to get implants and or whatever, and also the interiors of their ships look like haunted houses. They got that weird dimly lit green effect and fog everywhere. So
yeah. Well, and also, I mean, just First Contact, right? That one moment's creepier than anything in this episode. As is the stabbing of the eye, and those are proper horrific moments. Trying to, but yeah.
I think that's when the Borg kind of got their scary factor back, was First Contact.
Yeah, it was a whole different thing.
Yeah. All right. Kung Fu
Panda?
Cooler. Kung Fu Cooler? Anyway, €5. Star Trek Enterprise episode Impulse for giving us zombified Vulcans on a very horror setting. Yes, this is my go-to one. Just because this is very much like a haunted house. It's a wrecked ship. All of the Vulcans on board are suffering from this. I forget what it was exactly.
Tritium depoisoning.
Yes. Okay. There you go. And very much zombie-like, coming after the crew, and they're running through the ship. There's red lights everywhere. Yeah. It's very much like a horror episode or haunted house. And it's absolutely terrifying. Just Vulcans have superior strength to begin with. So
true. Yeah.
So that's
a very good point. Because zombies are shit. Is the point, right? If you suddenly make them very effective, it's like, oh no.
Yeah. And they have to end up destroying the ship.
Yeah.
Tolls. Yeah, this is.
And they get grilled in it later by Zaval. It's like, dude, I'm trying to help him. It's like, Jesus Christ, you weren't there, man. You weren't there. Because it's horrible.
Yeah.
Now this is a slight trick question episode because it was designed to be a horror episode in a time you could show horror, do horror. They put the money, like, it was obviously incredibly literal, but boy did they go well. And I want to give them just super credit for this being the start of the most amazing T'Pol acting arc of the entire show. The fact that she loses her emotional control with just enough exposure to then be able to do something. I think she shags to Trip right after this, almost basically, and it's like, wow, I can't believe I did that. And then using Trellium to make herself more human and livable, live a bigger life. And then it makes her real, like, it's just sort of an amazing arc that starts this episode that obviously they knew where it was going, but it's like, it starts the horror zombie episode. That's amazing, the concept to go from there. So there's a lot of that with me. And see the actress T'Pol then also break down and go, throughout the episode. And Vulcan being super strong, that's fun. I don't remember the substantive nature of the story. All I remember is that they find the ship, they then crawl through the ship, they then crawl through the ship, they then crawl through the ship, they get out. Is that all that happens?
Yeah, well, they go to rescue or to find out what happened, and yes, they get stuck on the ship, and then they have to destroy the ship.
Like, it's
That's
not a bad
basically
thing.
it.
I just think that's the atmosphere is the episode versus the story. But that's why the Trekyardian stuff comes in. I also will wanna. I'm sure gonna go for the S. I think it deserves an S because it is the most literal horror episode they ever did.
Yeah,
Far more than the Borg regeneration, although that obviously has its own moments. But yeah, this deserves to be, because it could have been a gimmick and it actually wasn't, and well done for them for not doing that. Because
yeah.
it's a zombie Vulcan sounds silly until you do it well.
Yeah, on paper it doesn't sound so great. um, all right. Not a bad account. $5. Star Trek: The Animated Series, Season 1, Episode 8, The Magics of Megas. Megas 2. The Enterprise is torn in half. Spock and Lucifer flee magical beings and the literal devil cameos. Yes, but he was a sympathetic soul. He was misunderstood. Yeah, there's magical stuff going on. I never got a horror sense. I mean, this is another typical cliche kind of Halloween type stuff going on, but it's basically like Apollo visited Earth and was, you know, he became the typical devil, at least in their minds. And yeah, he's actually a sympathetic character. He's a nice guy, man.
Look at his abs.
Right? Yeah.
You can be scared of those abs.
I don't remember all the specifics of the episode, but I do remember last time I watched it being like, oh, poor devil. So.
You were so nice, devil. You were so nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember this enough to judge, so I will let you go into the ring. Your official review, Stuart. In the pantheon of scary movies.
Put it at a C.
Really? Even with that critique. Okay.
Yeah. Well, like, there's enough visual elements that say Halloween, right? So.
Okay. Hey. I trust you, buddy. I trust you.
I wouldn't, but okay. Thank you.
I used to trust you, buddy. I used to trust you.
There you go. Schmo Buddy, $5. Whispers, DS9. Who's good? Is anybody good? Am I bad? What's going on? This is with the other O'Brien.
Yes, kind of. This is when O'Brien gets back to the station and everyone's acting weird, really weird. And the whole episode we think it's him that's right, everyone else is wrong, and turns out he's been cloned or whatever.
Yes,
I can't remember the exact twist, but it's literally the entire 45-minute episode until the last 3 minutes. So it's a full episode of pace, and he has to actively avoid everyone and uses smarts, and his wife hates him and almost poisons him. And Jake's also not been there, so he's a friend, and then gets converted and
then ends up dying at the end, and the real Brian's fine on a table.
What happened? What?
Yeah. Psychological terror for sure. Just thinking you're going mad or crazy, or that something's happened to everyone you know, and you're the only one that sees the truth.
Everyone.
When that's
and Dodo and Jake, all the people left.
Wow. Okay. Psychological horror wise, it's any episode that makes a character think they're going crazy, I think is really scary. Psychological. I'll put this in an A for me. How about you?
Well, it's interesting that we just talked about another live that O'Brien got the episode where he was in prison and he was a broken man.
Oh, I hate that one too.
And also the one where he was timeline shifting and he also had to save the station. That's 3 emotionally fucked episodes that Cole...
# O'Brien must suffer.
But he rocks all 3 perfectly. That I didn't realize he had wow. Although boy, pre-Dominion War, a lot of interesting stories. What did Carl do after that? Call me. He's just sort of engineer man, right? Anyway. No, I love this episode. This is a really effective piece of television. Because I remember watching it the first time, and I remember being super drawn in by everything. The wonderful pace, the absolute espionage, the anywhere creep factor, the fact that, you know, and I'm scrolling for a good 15 minutes, you're like, okay, everyone's the enemy, because they absolutely say it. They can fully commit to that bit. This guy is the good guy. They don't leave anything on the table for that. So you are fully in the moment of him just escaping and just doing whatever, and then running about, and then attacked, and then it's like, what at the end? It'd be crazy. And is that a CGI runabout? Ooh. Season 2, episode 4, Stuart. I always like to find the first version of something, and at the end it's like, oh, it's weird.
Yeah.
I want to give this one an S because I think psychologically this affected me when I was young.
Okay.
And I still think it's a very, very good piece of television.
I mean, fine with that.
Just a dinner with his wife, and everything about it is creepy. It's not creepy. It's a dinner, but everything about it, all these amazing close-ups, and it's kind of like you can take a simple thing. There's a scene in Wrath of Khan where Savick and Kirk are in the elevator, and they shot it in a wide or close-ups, but they shot all the different coverage. And there's an unused edit where they used only a 2-shot, I believe, of the scene. And the 2-shot, it looks like they're eye-fucking each other in some sequences. It's super flirty. And the scene isn't meant to be flirty, but in a 2-shot you can see all the body language. It feels really, really flirty. And so they cut to only the close-ups because that removed the flirtiness, the body language. So in the same way...
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because it's really weirdly flirty. And you can totally see it. So
Interesting.
It's the same thing, the way they edited this episode, you can make a simple scene, choice editing, feel creepy. And it's just power of editing, so yeah, absolutely an S for me.
Fair enough. All right. Schmo Buddy, $5. Scientific Method, Voyager. Decloaked aliens, body attachment horror, loss of personal control. It's kind of like Voyager's version of Schisms, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yes,
a bit more violence.
Yeah, absolutely terrifying. Again, seeing the kind of decline of everybody.
Yeah.
In their appearance and their alertness, and
there's definitely Janeway's hair can survive.
Right. But yes, definitely some body horror elements going on, and also just again that fear of being observed or being taken advantage of, and you have absolutely no control over it. So, yeah, this is one I haven't seen in a while, I will admit, but yeah, know enough about it to say what I said.
I also absolutely love Seven's silver jumpsuit vibe in this. Like, this is a specific costume that she is in between costume, and she suits it really well. So I've always noted that. So I'm scrolling. This has the great Paris Beeman with the flowers moment as they're trying to court. That's great.
Oh yeah.
It's silly, but it's great. And yeah, everyone's getting emotional, which is unusual. Janeway looking terrible, which is great. Oh yeah, Chakotay losing his hair and going old. That's amazing makeup. That's excellent. Wow. Good for them. That's top tip. Michael Westmore, man. And then Neelix going through his old man makeup because he got spots because everyone's getting effed. And Seven everyone's fine. And she can see them, and then she can pretend to be okay when she's looking at everybody around her, scanning eyes and... Oh, yeah, and they've even got cloaked mechanisms. I don't remember that.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Jesus, that's horrible. I've no memory of that. Oh my... One guy's opening a guy's skull. At least how it appears. Wow, that's fun. Wow, she's thin. This is great. But it's definitely... I think it could have gone further. I'm saying that as I just said a lot of other things.
Yeah.
It links more on the sci-fi than the horror, which is good for a sci-fi show. But I think in this list, Schisms is more... I don't understand them, right?
Yeah.
My gut is high B, low A, but probably in the B be my gut. Because a few moments are quite creepy, but it's still got other stuff going on. What do you think? What are you vibing?
I was thinking the low A, but I think it's creepier than either of the ones in B.
Yep, no, yep, that's all I have to say. Yep, no, it is notably creepier than both. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, contrast!
is king.
That's why we like it. Cool.
Yeah.
Great set so far. Ooh, Jamie. Yes, good option.
Not a bad account. $5. Star Trek Voyager Season 2, Episode 24. Tuvix Janeway senses our protagonist to murder. Straight up. Tuvix rushes from friend to friend, pleading for... Oh, for fuck's sake. All right.
The most talked about episode of the last year.
I know. Body horror, blah, blah, blah. As well as, yeah, just... the moral dilemma. I don't know what we've talked about this multiple times lately. For most iconic, okay, it is scary. Yes, him running around pleading for his life, and everybody kind of, listening to their captain. Hashtag Janeway did nothing wrong. I got to put that in every time. Saving
fuck
2
Is
lives.
that what we said? Sorry, what?
Yeah. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one, or the combined.
Combined. That's good.
I still think.
Oh, that's good.
I still think they should have done something. Got the DNA so they could bring him back in some form.
But that becomes God tech. Fair, but you can just do that.
Yeah. So she did the right thing. She really did. The trick is, don't get to know him. Then it doesn't matter.
Don't name it.
Yes.
Although speaking of, hashtag Tuvix figure coming by the new company. That's kind of cool.
From Nacelle Toys or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, Tuvix, not horror. Sorry. It is disturbing. But I wouldn't say I'm ever horrified by it. I'm uncomfortable by it, but I wouldn't say it's ever horrific. Even the idea of them going together, the way it's done is so clean, and he's so friendly that it doesn't quite work that way. If it was a grotesque combination that was ill,
like in Lower Decks.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this would be an F for me because it doesn't hit that. Although I reminded me of the episode with the evil hologram went through walls. That's a creepy episode from Voyager early seasons. That's a successful, that famous guest actor who puts his hand in your chest and grabs B'Elanna's heart on that weird ship, and that's a creepy one. That's a good one.
I'm trying to think. I can't even remember what one.
Someone put it in, or he won't ever think about it. That's a good one. So we are finding quite a few creepy episodes. I commend the audience, and this is why I hoped, reminding us about these, because
well, I'm still surprised Night Terrors hasn't showed up. Like I said, that morgue scene is friggin' terrifying. Yeah. Lack of REM sleep, man, it'll do things to you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Very cool.
Jamie Somerville, £5. Mpok Nor, yes, from DS9. Andrew Robinson is fantastic. Oh my God, good call. Yeah, this is another haunted house, kind of familiar surroundings, yet not, and super soldiers essentially in the dark, hunting you down, and Garrick turning on you because he's got Cardassian DNA. Quite a few people die, and yeah, just that sense of having to sneak around and not being sure what the hell is going on, or even who you can trust at some points.
No one.
Right? But yeah, it definitely has a haunted house vibe to it. And yeah, absolutely terrifying. And yes, Andrew Robinson does a fantastic job in that episode. He is quite menacing. Yeah.
So this one's interesting because I remember it, I remember liking it, but it's all kind of visually the same thing. So I'm having a hard time parsing the scenes. Because it's just dark DS9, which is very effective because you can't really see the landmarks, but it's all the same thing. I remember them going into one of the shops and finding like a casket thing, and there's the Cardassians in it, and then they fight. Throughout the episode, I don't remember anything in particular. They never, as far as I recall, they never find a set and then turn the lights on to do something. It's always the dark. So not a problem, just,
And there is the decayed remains of one of the 3 Cardassians in his cryotube still. which is kind of zombie-like
Is
visual.
this kind of the closest then to like a Freddy Krueger monster, like Garrick being the boss? I feel that's kind of because isn't the idea that he's the best operative out of all of them, so he murders everybody, basically. Isn't that
Yeah, well, he's on their side for the majority of it, and is going to go after these guys because they're
Okay.
Obsidian Order trained as well. But then he turns and kills one Starfleet officer. And there's really no repercussions from that. Like, tell that security officer or that guy that, oh yeah,
That's true, actually.
our Taylor on the station here kind of killed your son, but it's all good. He's better now. I don't know how that would go over.
Oops.
But yeah, to have him turn and kill one of the Starfleet was like, oh my god, what is happening right now? So
Well said.
yeah.
I mean, it's not my personal preference favorite. I guess because like I said, I don't remember the specifics enough. Just the vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a high not really S quality.
Cool. Excellent. Same.
But I mean, you wouldn't have to make much of an argument for me to move it up to S.
Yeah, or I think just rewatching it might help. Like because the subtle stuff often can be horrific, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Perfect. Hold on just 1 second. I just want to tell everybody to hit that like button.
Ooh.
We have 35 likes and 42 people here. Let's get those likes up to 40. And by all means, let us know some scary stuff that you saw in Trek that's kind of stayed with you.
That's a way of framing it as well. A lot of us were obviously younger when these things came out, therefore the vibe that you had can affect, which I think part of the reason that DS9 one affected me with the Brian.
Yeah.
Which one, the Brian? Several of the Brian. Yeah.
Sam, check your messenger real quick.
Okie dokie.
But yeah, guys, hit that like button. Let's get the show on the road. Let's road on the show.
The road on the show.
Yeah. All right. What's next? Schmobody, $5. Faces. Voyager Vidians are always gross. B'Elanna split in two. They literally rip a dude's face off.
Yes, they do.
Is this the same episode that Neelix loses his
No,
lungs?
that's the first Vidian. It's the second Vidian.
Okay. Well, all the Vidian stuff is horrific. Again, it's like organ harvesters, body snatchers, if you will. But yes, seeing one of your crewmen's faces on a Vidian, kind of disturbing, I gotta say. The no lungs thing scared me. I remember that when I was younger. It's like, really, you can live in the thing, but you can't move at all. What? Anyway, yeah, Vidians are just gross. I don't want to compare them to zombies, but they are decaying. Their bodies are falling apart. They probably smell.
No, they have a lot of links. Oh, axe. Sorry. Ugh, Americans.
Double pits to chesty. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, yeah, having one of your friend's faces basically flayed off his body and put on a Vidian, I mean, that's terrifying. So I'm just wondering where I want to place it in this pantheon here.
Yeah, this is a really interesting episode. They certainly had a vibe here that was effective. I mean, that's amazing makeup. To know where... Obviously, it's all a mask, right? As in, they've got a real face and then they effed around it. But the fact the face looks in front of everything else, that's really effective. And considering, of course, there's a Starfleet actor who didn't have any makeup and a Vidian actor, and then the Starfleet actor had to be in 12 hours of makeup, whatever, to get this, to replace that guy, but act the same. Very effective. I don't know if it's had the same voice, because he shouldn't have swapped voices, really, should he? Because, you know, no vocal cord. I mean, this one visual's horrific, and it's really well played in the episode. As is also the concept of splitting herself into two parts, and the fact that human B'Elanna's, who we get to see, and she looks quite nice as a human, right? It's an effective difference. And I assume she also played the... No, she can't play the Klingon, because they had to be in scenes together.
Well, they can do that in Star Trek.
They can. But I thought they used a different actress.
No, they did. They used her. I seem to remember.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah,
So I felt like it was different enough.
On makeup.
Because both are very effective, right? No, I think this is pretty high because this is a really gruesome thing for Trek, and it's very effective. I would give this an A, honestly. I think it's a very simple, effective, and well done gruesomeness.
Yeah, I was thinking A as well.
And just their main concept is horrible. They're not a fun race, but they're a fun race.
Yeah, the Medians. Yeah, it was a great concept.
Don't know if there's too much you can do with them, as in there's a limit.
Yes.
But hey, it's good stuff.
All right. Almost at 40 likes, guys. 39. Woof. Only need one more like. Hit like if you're just joining us. And by all means, let us know what your scariest Trek moment was. Because, like I said, there's a few on here that just surprised me that you guys brought up.
Yeah.
Or I'd forgotten about.
And make us debate it ad nauseum, which I like.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool, very cool.
All right. Moving on. Not a band account.
Yes, indeed.
$5. Star Trek TNG Season 7, Episode 6, Phantasms. Data loses his grip on reality. Our hero goes soulless stabber on Counselor Troy.
Yeah.
That scene alone.
It's full Psycho. I just rewatched it. It's literally the Psycho shot. Very, very close to being just the Psycho shot. Oi. Oi, Stuart. Oi.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of specifics of this one.
Dreaming Data.
Oh, yes. Mint peptide cake, whatever.
Pretty much.
Don't remember the stabbing scene offhand.
So basically,
I don't remember what else happened.
I've been skimming as I have to. There's an alien, from what I'm remembering, there's an infestation of alien little bugs. Either inside or under them, they have to scan them. Only Data can see them, but it's subconscious. And so all these represent something. And in later scene, he sees the creatures on Troy, and so he uses the knife, thinking it's something else, to try to stab the creatures on her body. And we don't know any of this. It all comes together. Yeah, it's a good psycho horror, kind of. Because it's through Data's inability to process it, so it's all kind of abstract.
Okay, yeah. It's starting to ring a bell now. I don't
recall if it's the one where his dad becomes a bird. And yes, that's the sentence I just said.
Well, yeah, it's where he starts dreaming.
I don't know if it's the same one though. What was the episode called for that again, Ty?
Phantasms.
It's right at the end of TNG as well, season 7. So yes, the miners who are mining the wall. It's better. Deanna's actually in a uniform, which looks great. It's the straw out of Riker's head, which is a great effect. Very well done.
Yes, there you go.
The miners are smashing down one of the bulkheads, Sigmund Freud, with his great scenes.
I feel like I need to reskim this. Give me a second.
Data's not sure why. Oh, look, it's the plastic phaser holsters. That's useful. God, that's low on Worf's trousers. Goodness. Not what I'm here to look for, but still. Just saying. That's crazy. Who thought that was a good idea? Sticking out. Yeah, and there's parasites in everyone's bodies, which are actually rather well tracked. That's a good effect. Ugh. It's not fun. And he has to go back in the dream with Picard, apparently, which is kind of cool. Don't remember that. Oh, the holodeck. That's why, obviously.
Oh yeah, seeing the scanning tool to see them on the bodies. Yeah,
those are gross. I think
and this gave birth to the whole my Android has unlimited data because of the cell phone in his chest meme. So I mean, hey, yeah, okay.
Yeah, my brain says mid though, in a good way. Like it's kind of the abstractness does pull away from the horror. Also the point. I would probably say a B though. I think some moments are pretty blah, in a good way, right? So I think definitely higher than the C. Mm-hmm. I think the abstractness, like I said, pulls away a little bit. But no, yeah, this is a good one. I mean, this is a classic, right? Dish be a classic.
It is.
Would you agree? Would it be?
Yeah. Yeah, I would. Not having skimmed through it, yeah. Because again, it's that helplessness of these things are infecting us. We don't even realize that it's happening. Get the scanner. I mean, it's just, yeah.
Pretty much.
All right. JW, £5. Voyager, one where the crew are in stasis and Seven is isolated and starts to feel paranoid. And she runs the entire ship for weeks through the nebula. Scary. Yeah, I think Enterprise did this a bit better, maybe.
I'll let you talk about it then. Such a bold thought.
Well, I remember the Enterprise one more because
it is newer. Yeah.
Well, it's just more, I think it's better because Phlox is awake. Apparently, T'Pol's awake, but at the same time going into it that T'Pol's not awake, and she shows up multiple times, and it turns out she was just a figment of his imagination the entire time. She was in fact in stasis with everybody else. That's scary. Again, it's like the losing your mind type of aspect, right? And thinking you're alone essentially on the ship and hearing noises and just that creepiness. Again, it's that alone in the house hearing a sound kind of vibe. This Voyager one, I remember everybody's in stasis because they're traveling through the void.
Nope. Big purple nebula of doom.
Okay, so this isn't one of the... Okay.
Shall I find it and skim once again?
Sure, what episode is it? I'll do the same. God damn.
It is 1. So this one's a good tour, meaning 2 lead actors.
Which season?
4:25. So in this episode, they have to traverse a thing because it's hurting them, and so the Doctor and Seven are the ones that can do it, and they do it alone. They put everyone in stasis, and then they work the ship alone. Then she thinks everyone's leaving their pods, but are they? Maybe not. Whatever. And she has a holodeck to deal with them because she can't go away from the people or can't go away from the sadness, and stuff starts breaking.
And she's got that creepy fuck on board talking to her.
And then there's the Doctor's because things are starting to. I think it's the Baronil gel packs have been infected and they're dying slowly. And then yes, she thinks this alien is coming to help, isn't. And the Doctor's not, and it's I mean, it's the last third that's creepy as fuck, right? And she's really good in this because to see her be freaked out, like Phlox is so relatable. The fact that this gets her is like, oh dear.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
And yeah, these creepy stuff with the Borg at the end is great, with the lighting and everyone's burned and really good use of the sets. And she just gets them to live. I mean, I remember being creeped out by this effectively, so I would give this a B as well. I think.
Now that I've skimmed through it, yeah.
It's the last third, but I think the last third is really effective. It's just build on build on build on build.
And I think a high B is worth saying.
Yeah, because they also do a lot of camera work here. I don't remember Enterprise being very creative in the camera work department for that episode. It's more about the acting. They're doing all of it. So it's pushing the bounds of reality more. And yeah, some of his makeups are just excellent.
Yeah, I remember being really creeped out by that alien guy. Mm-hmm. Just his delivery and the way he talks to her.
Which is interesting because there's another episode where there's also someone who's sort of really not there. But this is this is the creepy one. And phase rifle. First contact. They have one. Aha!
All right. Schmo Body, $5. Voyager, or Deadlock, sorry, Voyager. Bedians are also gross. Harry gets spaced. Seven gets overrun. Our ship gets overrun. Who's going to make it?
And that's one of my favourite Voyager episodes. Because the twist at the end being, because there's 2 Voyagers, the good, the broken one and the safe one. And they're sharing power, they're sharing deuterium, and then one keeps getting injured, and it works a way of saving itself by hurting the other one, whatever. And then all of that goes on. The good Voyager gets brutally attacked by Vidians, and because the story knows they're all going to get murdered, we see all the crew get killed horribly and harvested, hence the picture. And at the end of the story, we just watched 2 Voyagers with this expectation that the bad one dies. And at the end, the damaged one lives with Harry and Imam kid. and our okay one gets blown up, and it's like that's such a good reversion of expectations. It's really effective. And it's like that was brutal.
Yeah.
Really brutal. And we know forever that Harry's not really from that universe or
Yes.
timeline. And it's a really unaffected. And I'm sure Mike's gonna mention that in the episode, the one to come, because it's such a thing. You know, it's like she's
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that kind of being like oh man, Harry's actually dead, and then it's glazed over after that, unfortunately. And it's mentioned, I think, once or twice, but
yeah, I think they mentioned Naomi more than him. It's a really good episode though, because it's very few times you can actually kill the crew, and like I said, Vidian, like they're there to harvest and do things. It's brutal. And then you see some really nice CG of Voyager like turned 5 torpedoes up. Really good creative shots for the time, and there's the latching onto the hull, which then they break apart and it rips the hull apart because again that one's not surviving. So yeah, it's really fun. But creepy is the wrong word. It's effective at drama, and oh guys, sorry. So I'd give it a D for that. I think it does enough to just dip into the creepy realm of like, oh, sorry guys, but it's not scary, but it's effective. That'd be my vote. Unless you think higher. I mean, I'll you know.
No, I was thinking of moving the Magics of Magus 2 down for contrast.
Okay.
And making this one a C, because it's animated.
I mean,
for God's. It's not.
I mean, the end's pretty brutal, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna move that one down. I think that's a better.
Okay.
Yeah. Go with that.
Give it a shout. I can, and yeah, like I said, contrast is super important in these. The ones that
C it is.
aren't scary, you start to realize, well. Okay, good shout.
Jamie Somerville, 5 pounds. Macrocosm, Voyager. Creepy vibes, Janeway wondering what happened to crew. Yes. Macrovirus is scary enough as it is. And this was the Rambo Janeway episode.
Yes, it was. The famous vest top, which then returned in Prodigy.
Yes. Yes. Unfortunately, I don't remember a lot of it. I remember the next time on, for some reason, where she's firing the phaser rifle and they see this thing coming at her and it's like, ooh, is Janeway gonna die? And then I haven't watched it in a while. I don't know what happens. I don't remember what happens to the crew though.
Okay.
So I don't get that reference.
Okay, so from what I can recall, it's one of my favourite Voyagers as well because a really good alien, really well done macrovirus, great acting by Janeway, and again, the phaser rifle comes out. Yeah. There's just a random case at the second level of engineering with a phaser rifle in it. It's like, is there now? Really? Interesting. So no, there's basically they buy something from somebody, and inside it has a tiny bug. The tiny bug flies into a binaural gel pack and infects it, and it grows a pathogen, and it grows a swarm of bugs, and this is all CG, and that affects like the heating in the mess hall, and then when B'Elanna looks into it, opens up, it expels bugs, and they fly, and they infect everybody, or they infect, or they grow into the creatures, because people get ill, and then it grows the creatures, and the creatures get growing bigger, and then and the crews I think they goo the people, and then the ship is getting damaged, and then it's Neelix and her who've gone to help, and then they have to get those guys to come help. It's like, please help us after we just bought stuff from you because like our crew's dying, and they just shoot them, and if she touches, gets killed, and it's just the idea of a literal biovirus that happens to have grown to the size of real creatures, and she ends up using the holodeck as a look, fake warmth life signs, go and eat them, and she blows it up. She blows up the holodeck to kill them all, if I recall. With lots of Jeffrey's Tube work.
It's kind of a monster kind of horror as opposed to... Yeah.
It's Haunted House again, but with an alien creature. I mean, it really is kind of zombies in its own right, just in this form. I mean, I liked it a lot. I'd give it at least a B, because it's pretty damn effective at what it's trying to do, just like the zombie, right? This specific Haunted House work.
It's Alien. They made her Ripley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But with the addedness that it affects all of the crew, and it's a virus that's really freaking dangerous. I mean, this thing is one of the like, oh, this is not so good.
Am I remembering correctly? Do the macrovirus like come out of their necks or something?
Yep. Yeah, because it continues via them. It's pretty. There's really gruesome bits, which are very effective. Yeah. I really like this one. It's all my top.
I need to go back and rewatch this one then because.
Yeah, I really like it, and the design's excellent, and it's so ballsy them to make a full CG creature that have full close-ups on, because at the time that's a big thing to do. But Edge was good at them. A472 and this guy, they are good. They did a good job. It's hard stuff to do.
Not a bad account says, but I paid for Megas too. Yeah, you did, but you didn't pay to bump it up. It was my determination it should be in C, based on the imagery, but thinking about it, it's not super scary. And yes, you boosted Cat's Paw up. Yes, exactly. Oh, so he's confused. That's all. Okay, good. At least that's sorted.
The captain has spoken.
Dun dun dun.
Yes.
Jamie.
Great start. Excellent.
I just saw what you put in there. This has nothing to do with Jamie's. Oh, I just read that one anyway. Jamie, we just talked about yours. Quiet. JP Wallace, £5. DS9, Season 6, the sound of her voice, warping to rescue a maroon captain, only to find out she was dead in the cave for 3 years. Do we have a picture for this one?
Yes.
It's not scary. It's just a very dramatic, sad piece. I don't think there was any scary elements at all, except for the reveal of the body, I guess, which is just a dead body. It's a fantastic episode, and yes, they really get to know her. She gives them all advice. A very kind woman. They're looking forward to rescuing her. But yeah, she's been dead a while, and it's sad.
Bashir sort of flirt with her, implied.
Oh yeah. She's talking to them on the trip. They're keeping her awake, so everybody takes shifts talking to her. Yeah. And yeah, he was like doing what Bashir does. So
slide into her cosmic DMs.
Yes, but not scary. This image is a good image for scary, but it's not scary. I'm gonna have to give it an F, personally.
Stuart, it's so rare I agree with you, and I'm going to continue it now. Yes, I agree. It's not scary. It's just sad. It's a really depressing episode. It's very successful, but no, I think it's 0% scary. Honestly, one of their best. But again, it's not It's not Dominion War. It's hardcore sci-fi in the simplest way possible.
It's one to wrap your mind around, though, considering that they were talking to her.
Yep. And can they still do it afterwards as well?
No.
Because isn't there a closure where they like tell her she's not rescued or something? I think they talk to her after she's dead.
No.
It's been a while
I
since
don't think so. I remember the doctor saying that she's in a bad state and she stopped kind of responding to them.
Right, yep.
But she passed out, and then by the time they got to her...
She's been dead for 3 years.
Yep. So yeah, they don't get a moment to say that, unfortunately. So, yeah.
That's almost too dramatic. I mean, for a show of the 90s, like, let's just tell a dead woman that she's going to die. We all love her, and it's like, oh, God. Yes.
All
Great.
right.
Yeah, good choice. This is not a fun episode. That would certainly be one of the top, like, downer episodes. That'd be, like, right up there for just downer content.
Also, one of my favorites for DS9.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good episode.
Eric.
All right, not a band account, $5. Star Trek, Those Old Scientists, Operation Annihilate. A planet gone mad. Creepy monsters on the ceiling. Kirk's brother dead. Spock's blind for good? ? All right, yeah. Sam Kirk, who we don't know, never will get to know. It's fine. He is dead now, apparently.
Not meaningful, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. And yeah, these fried eggs or plastic vomit, whatever you want to call them, things. Yeah, in fact, Spock, the way he gets out is UV light, essentially. The one guy got rid of his by flying into the sun, got close enough to the sun, it freed him before he died. Spock, was Spock blind? He didn't have to do the thing, but didn't need that much light. Whatever. It's not scary. I don't think it's scary. Do you think it's scary? It's a parasitic thing, and it's kind of very sci-fi Star Trek.
I mean, it's not fun, and I actually think the creature design is quite effective. The simplicity, right?
Until they fly through the air with like strings. Wish they'd fix that. Should have done that remastering, but they didn't.
I think you should give it a D, because I think there is a certain creepiness to, I mean, like microcosms, right? Like they've infested the whole colony. The implied danger, right? There's way more. It's kind of in a slight way of the tulips, or whatever, that pulse you with drugs. Like the implied chaos that can cause the extra creepy factor of like, oh no, it's kind of on that level. Like it's not this, but I see this. Right?
I'm fine with a D.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
Yeah, I think I think we should D it. It should be D'd.
Sure. Yeah. And thank God we'll never get to know Sam Kirk or like him or anything.
What does God need with a Sam Kirk?
Mustaches. Yeah. I don't know. Ray Ricks. Hey, Ray, how's it going?
Ray.
5 pounds. Strange New World. Hegemony. Just throw some new Trek in there to change things up.
This is both unhelpful but also summarizes the episode perfectly. Because the episode isn't very horrific, but this is the episode. It's the end of season 2, Stuart. The Gorn on the Planet episode.
Yes, and hear Lon's tale of how the Gorn killed her family. Oh, the Gorn are so evil.
And yet she remembered the pattern of lights and assumed it was like a language or something from decades earlier. Like, okay, no, you didn't.
Well, this is horrible. Yeah, this is horrible for different reasons. It's horrible because look at what's on screen. That is a Gorn, and that is horrible.
That is a Gorn. Yes. Sorry, that was a more correct way of saying it.
Let's turn the Gorn into Xenomars, man.
So the episode starts off with them on a nice, pristine planet, and then the Gorn come attack in a big ship, and then they break regulations to go get it with Zorn. Gorn killing Kit, which is just the Section 31 phases from the previous Discovery season. And then they try and rescue them, and there's a beam, and there's a great scene where they walk down a road with flashlights on, and they don't want to be discovered.
Well, this is with the small town set that they're in, which is in BC. Yeah.
Scotty, and then they impregnate people by on them, and that's what the girlfriend, who's lovely, it's very sad, she's infected. And then they fight a Gorn in the ship, which is rather good. But it's not horrific, right? It's just fight alien in 0G. Honestly, I'll give it an F. I think it's not scary. I think it's effective in lots of other ways, but I wouldn't. I mean, maybe go D if you add the idea of the lady being infected and her death. But
okay, D it is.
Yeah, that one element. But I mean, it's an action adventure alien. It's like Aliens isn't really scary. It's action horror.
Horror is scary by definition.
I'm skimming it, and there's really nothing much.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. The most horrific thing for me is the fact that those are now the Gorn.
The meta commentary.
It's terrifying. But yeah. All right, Schmobody, $5. Genesis, TNG, Barclay turns into a spider. Worf is eating people. Ship adrift. What the fuck happened? Genesis?
And this is for them. This is pretty bold.
Yes. We get Worf as this like carnivorous, scary goddamn thing.
Prehistoric Klingon.
Yeah. The issue I have with this episode is that's not quite how DNA works.
You don't know.
That's all right. I mean, we're not related to spiders in any form, but okay. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. It's just it's body horror at its extreme, and yes, to see Deanna in the tub, that everybody's transformations are horrific.
Because I believe the idea is that it reverts you back to a early ancestor.
Yes.
And the purest version of that. So Beta Zeds used to be amphibians. We used to be spiders and apes. Because there's also Riker.
Well, he's a Neanderthal.
Yeah, but then he has to say spider as well.
Or Neanderthal, if you want to be technical.
But I do commend that I'm skimming. Cool CG, cool space CG. Really good use of no lights on the sets, because it's a trope, but they don't do that very often. And these are good looking. We effed up the set shots.
Yeah, it definitely turns the warm, welcoming atmosphere of the Enterprise into something terrifying. Plus, all of the sounds, Worf trying to bash through the door. There's a lot of
the cobweb in engineering, that's a bitch to clean up. And Barky's makeup is horrible.
Yes,
it's a really gross, not fun thing. And also, if you recall, it gets more escalated because the infection's infecting Picard, who's becoming more caveman, who's scared of stuff. So he's
becoming more like monkey.
Yeah, but that means that we're more scared because he's more scared, and it kind of helps to increase the tension at the end. And Data's like, it's fine, it's all good. And the fact that Worf, a Neanderthal Klingon, can bash through the metal of a door is crazy, but I buy it.
Yeah.
Ooh. I watch this and I'm more impressed the more I rewatch it.
I would say this is probably an A for me.
Yeah.
Just because you're again the first time watching it, you're not sure they're ever going to change back. Of course, if they do, why would any other ship that they had to go investigate to see what happened wouldn't have been so lucky? But it's the goddamn Enterprise, so of course they'll get reverted back to their original form.
No, I think, and this is 41 minutes in, and they just resolved the situation. That's a lot of commitment to the bit. TNG does that, but that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
No, I think A is a good shout. I think this is actually very effective.
Atmospherically, it's very scare-inducing. So.
Yeah.
Good call.
Very cool. Yeah.
All right, Prince Alorian puts in 35 forms of currency.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Voyager, Season 5, Episode 18, Course Oblivion, seeing the crew literally rot, rot, and race for the last dash attempt to save the ship and not make it.
Well, that was only $2, though.
Oh, well, that's fine. I would never have said Course Oblivion would be in this list. I get it, especially based on the picture, and thinking the entire time it's the Voyager crew. But then on the resolution, it's like, well, that's sad. Moving on. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it classes as a horror for me, personally.
So I will agree in that we talk about body horror. This is horrific. And it gets progressively worse, the episode. So you are forced to linger and watch our entire crew melt to death and get weaker and die and slowly die. As in, I recall one scene like Tako's on a station that just dies mid-scene. And everyone's like, we lost another one. And it's that horrible realization of like, this is not going to win. That's horrific. I'm going to give this a straight B out the gate. I think the tone and horrificness at the end, you rarely can have a slow death knell and it doesn't end happily. Yeah, I think body horror, this gets you.
Just because I said it wasn't, I wouldn't consider it. I was going to put it at least a C, so I'm fine with a B.
Yeah, I think you could argue A as well. I think if you're really in the episode, I think this needs to be an A.
Yeah. I was just laughing at Area 51's comment. Janeway really needs some coffee. Yes. This is what happens if she doesn't get her coffee intake.
This is the forced tea of 3 days of tea, and she has this. I mean, it's such a good episode. That's like one of their absolute best. It's almost like an Intimate Darkly episode. It has nothing to do with the main cast at all.
Yeah.
And that's how they can play. And it's such a great foreshadowing. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna make. Oh, of course we're gonna make. Balana and Paris get together. Therefore, we'll do it here and then kill them. Because it was doable. Yeah, horrible episode in a good way.
But yeah, it's one of my favorite Voyager episodes.
I mean, they did some science concepts super well, and the fact it's a sequel and obviously having internal continuity is great. When you realize that, it's like, oh, and even sadder. R.I.P.
Rip, man, rip. One more like, guys. Get to 50. One of you out there hasn't hit like yet, so please do so.
It's so easy. I mean, it is click, done.
It's so easy, a Neanderthal could do it.
Or a Spider Barkley.
Or Spider Barkley. He could hit the like button 8 times. Should be like, not like, not like, not. That would just result in not a like, because... Just ignore what I'm saying, because it's probably the best for everybody's mental well-being. All right, I'm not a bad account. Listen to me now. $5. Star Trek TNG Season 2, Episode 2, where silence has lease. The D trapped in a nightmare void. Creepy Yamato set. That's not how you spell Yamato. I don't know if that's the one. Umato, whatever. Anyway, imposter crew members, scared little kid me to bits. Oh, gotcha. Silence has lease. Is that Nagilum?
Nagilum. I mean, for me personally, the scary thing is when they're walking around the other Enterprise bridge and they open the door and they see the other Enterprise bridge and they can't escape. That for me is scary. This is a kid's face in a window, right? That to me is more scary. But this is the more iconic part of the episode. For just say. Yeah,
Nagilum's face is off-putting for sure.
Yeah, off-putting is what I'm saying.
But yeah, no, I agree with you actually. That hopelessness of no matter what door we go through, we're going to end back in the same spot. Yeah.
And it is a good slow build because they see another Enterprise, which was a big deal at the time. And oh wow, it's one of our sister ships. It's being bored, and it's like, what? And then Worf yells at the door, as if that's gonna be enough. And then he also makes the guy's head explode. That meme. And then all the stars go out, and then they get them. And Rom the ship. It's got a couple of moments. And it definitely builds tension well. And then a giant baby appears. Or a squirrel.
I'm kind of flip-flopping.
D.
I was going to say C. Okay. Kind of flip-flopping between a C or a B, low B.
Oh, then you can go C then.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say B for this. It's such a short moment of... I wouldn't want to give it a B. But it is amazing how just having empty sets that we love personally is so effective. Because that's a common trope of this, you know? I'm always a fan of the older... We're out of set.
Not a band account, puts in $2. People eating Gorn could have been Kinzinti instead. There you go.
Yes.
Ray Ricks, 5 pounds. TNG Schisms already been done. It's the first one in S. Ray.
But I think it might mean an up if you want it to be higher. Old Schisms.
How can you put it higher? It's already an S.
And maybe he loves it that much.
No, it's fine.
Double
he also
S.
Comes in with his membership for 31 months at the rank of Federation Council and says Enterprise Impulse. That is also already on the list.
Indeed.
And that is also an S. So Ray is a man of many S's.
And reading is not one of them. Oh.
Well, you can't really
Please
see
say talent.
those, honestly.
I know, but we can't do much about that.
Not a bad account. Gift 1 Trekyards membership. So I'd like to thank Fearless Wolf.
Yes.
I'd like to thank Fearless Wolf for being here so you can become a member and congratulate him for becoming said member. There you go. But thank you, Not a Band account, for gifting that.
And being able to do that, etc. You guys are the best.
Schmo Buddy, $5. Memorial Voyager. What's going on? Did we do something bad? Did the whole ship do something bad? Were we tricked into genocide? Oh shit, we wanted to do it. What?
Yeah, this is a hard episode to find a screen cap of, but I think I got one. So this is a really powerful one for the crew. They fly near a planet, and the planet's sending out a memorial signature that makes the crew live a genocidal war thousands of years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And they each live horrible stories, and it affects them, and they they think they did it, and they'll have hard PTSD. And so you see flashbacks of all them doing the thing in a uniform, which obviously confuses us to no end. And it affects all of them because it's brutal, and it's all different things, and they all commit, and they have shared memories, and then they go to the planet and they decide should we destroy it or not, because this is affecting everybody, and they just, I think they, oh no, it's breaking because it's old, and they actually power it up, which lets them see the memories but not experience them. They do a thing that,
Yes,
and there's a giant prop on in a big field that we found at the end. Let's build a field prop. That's a really cool Voyager shot. That's awesome. CG shot. That's great. It's a good episode. It's definitely mental horror. And I remember why I picked Garrett. He's really good in this scene for as little as it is. They all are. Because they're just playing PTSD soldiers.
There's an episode of Enterprise similar to that, I believe, too. Isn't there? This is kind of like Inner Light in a way, too.
Oh god, yeah. Ugh.
That's horrific in and of itself. Living an entire lifetime and it's only been like a minute and a half in your real world.
You're still lying on the floor, you shoot yourself slightly. This is an effective episode, and they really give the actors, like, this is what you want as a serialized story ensemble show where everyone gets really different hard things to do. This is properly them. So I would give this a B, because I think the acting gets you, and you really feel it. And they push it way further than TNG would, because just go for it, guys. Go for it. So in that regard, it's knowing what they're feeling really comes across. So it's horror in that regard. I mean, low B, Well, it beats out C for sure.
Yeah, I would say so.
And it's great they all go down with compression rifles. Like, we're going to deal with it right now. The whole team in this just big forest. Those crappy compression rifles are also kind of cool.
And JP Wallace throws in £2.
Oh.
It's got to be at least 5.
Oh. I will prep it, though, in case you'd like to.
It's one that Sam mentioned earlier, so it'll be ready. TNG, Season 6, Frame of Mind, Riker in an insane asylum. I'm not the biggest fan of that episode, personally. But yes, it is quite horrific. Like I said earlier, any episode where you think that the character's going insane, or if you were in that situation, what would you do? Yeah, it's a terrifying concept, so...
And I can never remember the actual reason for the story. It's somewhat similar to the Future Imperfect. Where is the actual line of bullshit? Because he's doing a play. But is he really doing a play? Ever?
Yes, I think so.
But then why was he all the other stuff?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Somebody was trying to punish him for something.
Was it?
I don't remember.
Because it's great.
I tuned out during that episode. I'm not a big fan of it.
I think it's phenomenal because it's so effective. And I'm still confused by it. And yeah, cutting between the real play and the fake play, and our characters playing the people and the fake characters playing the people. And he walks out the set at one point, and then I'm scrolling, and he's on the planet, and the lady, they're all staff officers here to help him, and how we call back to the ship with my spoon, and he fully buy it. It's like, oh, okay. And then it's like,
then they come and rescue him. He was actually there. Yeah.
But then you cut the scene, and it's like, oh, but then it's really the play, and it's all part of the episode, and then I am not crazy. And then it's like, well done, that was good acting. It's like, is it a play? I don't know.
I think it's an A. It takes method acting to its extreme because not sure if he's in the play or not. Honestly, so there you go.
No,
A.
Yeah, this is one of their best of this kind. I love the fact that screen cap at the end. They build the set on 10 forward set because it's a giant set. I'm assuming they actually just film the actual episode on the fake set inside the 10 forward set.
Yeah.
And so so they film it as kind of meta, and also the acting. I remember. Yeah, no, this is definitely an A. And I mean a strong A. I think we'll watch it probably higher because Frakes is so good in it.
He is. But it makes me
uncomfortable.
Very much so.
Which is effective. So it might be an S. It's right on that line. Because it is very close to the Cole Meany one. Really close. I think that's... No, they're just different. They're different. It's almost like a time loop of Screwy.
DS9 took it a little further and a little darker.
But the fact that you don't know what the truth is for Riker is much more effective. As in, the swapping, that gets you, even me now. Whereas Cole, once you know it, it's a ride. But
yeah, you look for all the clues. Yeah.
But it's a different experience. Oh, I'm so close to having that be an S. Like, someone make that an S.
We can bump it up.
Someone make that an S if anyone agrees with me, because it's right there.
Fair. $5, bump it up.
Exactly.
Ray Ricks, though, £5. The Siege of AR-558, The Horror of War. I'm stretching.
The Horror of War. Gosh, find a screen cap. This is a sucky one to find screen caps of. Okay, we'll go with that.
Should be easy. Just go with the phaser rifle.
Oh, I got Bashir, but yeah.
That works too. It's an F, my friend. How can you pick S's and F's?
He's a skillful man.
Horrors of War. Phasers that run out of power and go through power packs like they're ammo clips. I hate it. Set your phaser to wide beam. Take everybody out. I mean, that's what phasers are designed for. It's a good war story. It's a good DS9 story. I
It's
guess.
a phenomenal war story, and that's partially why it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It has to break a lot of the rules to do the story.
Yes. It's an F.
No, I think you should give it a D just because the hopelessness you feel at certain points is very gross.
Okay.
Because I think this is more effective as a horror than the Strange Worlds episode, and that's a D, right?
And they killed the kid from Lost in Space.
See?
Come on. Why? What?
See?
Get a special guest star like that, you just kill him. What the hell?
Yeah.
All right. The Scottish Nightmare. Remember, for 53 months at the rank of ensign.
You guys are amazing. Thank you.
TOS Catspaw. It's the first one we talked about. It is in the B category.
Yeah. Hey, the fact that it's got this much recognition.
It was a C, but it got bumped up to B. So.
Yes.
We got Eric Martin with $5. Good to see you, Eric.
Good to see you.
That Schisms episode deserves a double S, in my opinion. Really creeps me out. That clicking noise is brutal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have a double S category, but yes, definitely the upper echelon of S.
But also, this has shown there's so many styles of horror, which is, I mean, this is very effective. I think this has shown that so many different things do just different things better and worse. Yeah, super interesting. Super interesting.
So, Jamie Somerville says he was captured during his mission trying to get information from his brain. That's what Frame of Mind's about, so yeah.
Yeah, really effective. Really effective. Really good selections, guys. These are really, really strong. You guys are doing wonderful.
And again, not a lot that I necessarily would have considered.
Oh yeah, had we done this, it would have been a very different list. No one said Rathacon. No one said... No, a lot of those I said early on. I've never
You mean Nemesis. Rathacon is not a horror in any way.
No. The bug going in and out of... Yeah, that's why it got a 15. It got its entire ranking. Yeah, that's absolutely horrific. It's disgusting. He commits suicide and then it screams after he's already disintegrated. The scream happens. It's horrific. Buried alive. Yeah, horrible. then Khan one-handed coming up with his face burned. Horrible.
No, it's not. It's just
cool.
Yeah. All right. Gestrel, $1985. Voyager episode Nemesis, where the enemy looks like the Predator aliens and turns out to be the good guys.
Yeah, it's a Nausicaan just in the Delta Quadrant.
Is this where? No, this isn't the one where they're trapped in the jungle and they can't get out because of the shield.
No.
And it's him and Seven. Which one is this one then? Because I don't know.
So I mostly remember it. I believe it's the one where this alien race captures people and then makes them think that this is the war they're fighting, and like triggers them all to have hallucinations that they're all aliens, but really they're people. Hence why Tuvok, it looks like that is when the thing. But then it's all kind of a weird bullshit mental trap, because at the end he finds or in the middle of the story they find a camp of survivor civilians who then get massacred by the bad guys, but that's all a fake thing to make him want to go out and massacre, because I think it's all basically a training simulation, like a real one, but like a training simulation, to make civilians who are out of the war, who were captured, hate these bad Nausicaans who aren't Nausicaans so much, because they massacred these civilians, that then you accept the fact that you must now join the war and massacre them back. And at the end, Tuvok takes them back to the village that they massacred, say, it's a program. They all come back and say hello, and he's like, and just live this horrible thing, but it was all a thing to train them to fight this baddie, who aren't even what they think. It's a good one. It's a weird one though. Does any of that ring a bell? Because that's a pretty decent description. Can't hear you.
I mean, yes, it rings a bell, but I don't think it's really horror.
Yeah, I don't really think it's horror either. I think it's not nice. And it's a decent war story. And it's a great twist. Because especially as I'm re-scrolling and I've forgotten this, the Nausicaan creatures are actually the good guys. So they boom to Voyager. And they're like, this other race is kidnapping people to make them fight in a war. And then we see them on Voyager, it's like, oh no. Yeah, it's pretty horrible. But yeah, it's a low-key psychotic drama. I'd give it a D. It's not nice. Maybe a C for me, because it isn't a fun time. But I wouldn't go any higher than that.
I wanted to give it a D based on what I remember, which is not much.
I mean, it's great for Beltran. Like, he rocks it. I mean, this is a one for him just kicking ass.
You want me to bump it up to C then?
No, I'm okay with being right on the line. I think it doesn't really hit the horror too much, but it ain't nice. It ain't nice.
Not a bad account, $5. Star Trek TNG Season 4, Episode 17. Night Terrors. Come on, terror is in the name. Don't sleep, can't sleep, don't let them get you. I would have personally used the image of the morgue scene, but...
Oh, is that the same episode?
Yeah, this isn't terrifying.
Oh, okay, sorry. Well, that's what I thought when I was like, I skimmed. I thought, oh, is this one? Oh, okay. Not scary at all.
That one scene in particular is.
Okay.
But yeah, it's creepy. It's creepy. I don't know if it'd be horrific necessarily, but yeah, the scene in the morgue I think is the one that really gets me. So this one that stands out. And yes, that scene is in fact terrifying. So
I just remember it for the silliness of this end, so it kind of nullifies the scary because it's silly.
Yep.
So that's kind of, I didn't know the same episode. I had no idea. I thought this was a whole separate episode. Which kind of like, oh.
But this visual is absolutely, and just seeing all hearing the sheets, and then you get the next shot, and everybody's sitting up, and her just like backing up. Yeah, that's absolutely horrifying. That stuck with me since I first saw it.
It's also the timing. It's really well like edited together of how they do it.
Yeah.
Well, Stuart, I'll let you jump in. This is obviously, now we all have ones that affected us. I'll let you throw in how it affected you.
The scene in particular is an S. However, the episode as a whole, I think, would probably be a C.
Okay. Thy has spoken.
If I'm wrong, let me know. But Anyway, next up, should probably call the last one. You think? 20 minutes? Whatever. We'll work it out. Because we can't really continue this one.
Yeah, it'd be hard to do another one. I mean, it'd be good for like a reorder once they're all in. That would be interesting to see how they contrast. But yeah.
Yeah. Ray Rex, £5. Can I vote for the whole of disco as a moment of horror? No. Moving on. Sorry, Ray.
But there is some horror. I mean, watching Laurel ride that guy is pretty horrific.
It might be erotic for some people, and besides which, you know,
erotific.
Sure, yeah. I mean, one of the most terrific things for me was Yum Yum. I mean, that was a cringy moment.
Why you scare me so much?
Eric Martin, $5. What is the episode with the woman half buried in the Enterprise D deck?
I don't remember, so I didn't search it. Which one is that one?
That's
I think it's the one where Picard meets his grandmother or mother who.
Yes, it is. I'm trying to remember what that one is.
It's really early. Is it season 2?
Fuck, what is that one?
No, it must be season.
Yeah, it was one of the first 3
TNG,
seasons for sure.
Picard's mum T. Yvette Picard. Hayden, nope. Family. Wait, no.
No.
Perfect Mate. Are they just being mentioned?
No.
Appearances. TNG. Where no one's going. Oh, when I was before. Oh, okay. Oh. Okay, it's not what I thought.
Which season is that? Or season 2?
No,
or is that
that's
season
the
1?
Traveller one where they break the universe barrier. No. Yes. No. Yes. I was right. Good for me. I mean, okay, so yeah, they basically break into the world of imagination and thought.
Mm.
So Worf gets a targ. Picard almost steps out of a turbolift into space. That's actually a really good visual. I just found that. That's a really successful piece of filmmaking. If I can find a shot of it that's static. There we go. That's a really good effect.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about clean shot of the top of the turbolift. Goodness. It's really effective. The rape gangs. The canon rape gangs. That's kind of scary. Watching a suicidal mum, that's pretty scary.
The scene of the woman in the floor, though, would be a good.
I know, I'm trying to find it.
One.
It's a quick cut, I'm trying to find it. I can't find it, Captain!
Or is that was that the episode that the thing is hitting the Enterprise with its beam and
I can't find it.
Dissolving parts of the ship. So it's not
that.
this episode.
No, it's in theory. Okay, well, people are saying things. I don't know. Let's find out. I remember Eye of the Beholder. That doesn't ring a bell. Oh, that's the horror murder one. Don't think that's it. That's the hand is in a thing. But don't think that's it. Oh, shush, Eric. Look, we just did like 15 of these. Shush you. In theory, okay. Is that the Barclay one?
That's the emitter thing that's shooting the deteriorating parts of the ship.
Oh, where Data's a girlfriend, wife person. But does someone go through a floor? I don't see anyone going through a floor. No, can't see that in that one either.
Anyway, yes, terrific. Moving on. Are we gonna do Where No Man Has Gone Before, even though nobody asked for it?
Sure.
No, we'll put it up there. We'll get to it when we get to it.
Yeah, no one will coming up. Yeah.
JP Wallace, £5. TMP transporter malfunction. What we got
Oh.
back didn't live long, fortunately.
Oh, I didn't read that one. That's actually an interesting one. TMP. I mean, there's a few less nice things about TMP, in fairness.
It's a pretty horrific scene. Scene-wise, yeah, I mean, body horror, that's terrifying. That's one of the reasons that McCoy doesn't want to use transporters. I mean, yeah.
I mean, also, Ilea getting snatched and being someone else is kind of horrific.
Yeah.
In the abstract. The fact there's only half grating on the floor of the transport room, it's kind of horrific. Finish the goddamn floor, guys. Finish the goddamn floor. It always annoys me. It's like, it's just so dark to hide it, but it's like, guys, just finish the floor.
Yeah, I mean, the transporter accident is probably like a tier for me as far as horror goes. This is not time with the entire motion picture, so.
But also, it is just they don't like if you'd seen like if there'd been this would have been much worse, obviously. If you'd seen like the Pig and Galaxy Quest,
and it exploded,
then it would be. I think this is so sciencey that I would give it a B.
Okay,
which
that's
is still
fair.
Quite high. It's
just the concept of it is terrible. Yeah.
Well, it's more for me. It's more the acting. Like it's the scene. The scene is so abstractly horrific. But yeah, I don't think it's particularly scary. Even though it is, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are nearing the end, guys. You have absolutely thrown some winners into the bundle here.
And Eric, sorry, I mean, yes, that scene in particular is quite horrific. That she died embedded in deck plating, but
we couldn't find the episode even as a community, so
which is odd. Let's be honest. Gestrel 1980, $5. First Contact, when the Borg take over the ship, even the Borg Queen reveal. Yeah, First Contact got some pretty horrific things in it, including this particular image.
I picked this because it's so damn effective. You actually watch it and actually bump the eye. Like, it's obviously a CG thing, but it's really freaking literal. And
as you said earlier, too, when he gets up and looks in the mirror and you see the yeah, and I also said earlier, too, this is kind of when the Borg got scary again, in his First Contact, because they had a bigger budget. They looked more zombified again.
They have the underskin detail, which is obviously paint, but it has that feel. Yeah, I mean, this is obviously an S. In what it does, it's horrific, because they want to push it. This is a movie. It's horrible. It's very effective. Yeah. Yeah, and even you could argue that Data's half face. Yeah, no, he does. Yeah, at the end, he obviously he loses. Yeah, those things are pretty nasty. And the way the Borg Queen disintegrates into a puddle of ash, and then he snaps the spine. Pretty horrific. Yeah, it gets an S. It's not fun. I do remember jump scaring at the thing at the start. It actually got me the first time I saw it. So
yeah.
No scotch. Right. Yeah. So we're done for new ones, guys. We'll finish out the list.
Yes.
Really fun one.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Yes. We fit it in. We did a good job.
Area 51, $5. Just feeling generous. I suppose I'm filling out the F slot. Data's Day for O'Brien's Marion Cake. That is horrifically horrible, yes. I mean, it's so lovely. The two people that love each other got married. Data's Day is a great episode, but yes, it absolutely is an F for the horror.
But a very respectable F, you know.
Sure.
It's so horrifically not horrific. Do you have horrifically non-horrific? Is there an episode that's horrifically good? I wonder.
Horrifically good.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
No, I know. That's why I'm saying it.
Okay.
Let us know if you have a horrifically good episode.
Right. Anywho's. All right. And Gastro 1980, $5. TNG episode Sub Rosa. Crusher's long love ghost. Meh. But when the dead grandmother rose up from the grave, lost my shit. Yeah, she actually like sits up in her coffin.
Couldn't find that on my skim, but I don't remember it enough. So I thought this was kind of.
At least I think so. This is an episode that I vaguely remember.
We try to forget
for multiple reasons. But yes, it's literally dealing with a ghost, but not. It's an alien. It's always an alien.
A sex ghost. Horny sex ghost.
I want to give it an F just because it's Sub Rosa.
Give it an F. Give it an S. Give it a B. Give it an R. OSA.
I'm surprised nobody brought up the one where the guy's body was in the nacelle, and you see the reenactment of him like killing himself or whatever.
Well, that was one people thought was the through the hull plating one suggestions. I'm sad no one said there's both the Tuvok murder one where he has a mucky brain in him. That's great. That's pretty gruesome in its own way. Mind Mel's murder, and the one with like the hologram on the murder hologram, also pretty gruesome. Really good acting by that guest actor who's very well known. Yeah. Really good list. This is a super interesting set.
It is, and it was fun to go through all these. Actually, like I said at the beginning, you guys are going to come up with stuff that we wouldn't necessarily think of, and you did. Yeah. So
I think we all learned something. Now, this is going to be probably a relatively... You're just going to disagree, probably, possibly. How close have we got to how much you'd agree with us? Because this is going to be super subjective, right? Do you agree with our picks? Do you not agree? Do some agree? Put in the chat right now your level of agreement in our last, 2 minutes. Let us know.
Let us know.
I'm intrigued. I do think this would be a sort of list where if we actually watched the episodes before that, obviously a lot of episodes, we would have a different listing. All the subtlety would come back to the discussion that we just can't remember. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Still don't know the episode, but anyway, there she is, girl on the floor, and yeah, absolutely horrific. Just walking along one day, the floor gives out beneath you, and then rematerializes while you're halfway through.
Yes.
How much would you feel of that? Honestly, that's the question.
I wouldn't be happy.
I mean, I had somewhere to be.
I wonder how they did the effect. Because I don't think the camera moved. It could just be as simple as... I mean, this visual is obviously higher, but the episode, we don't even know the episode, which is a slight problem. So I'll give it the C with the same logic as the other one with the sitting upness.
All right, fair enough. And Endeavorist says, I disagreed with Sub Rosa, bad episode, but should have been an A for this list. And it should have been. It had that horror. It had that horror element of there's actually a ghost. The dead grandmother sits up. Yeah, that's kind of terrifying. We make fun of it now, so I guess maybe we should reconsider Sub Rosa. I don't know if it's A-worthy.
I don't remember it enough.
You know what, Endeavorist, it's a new name. I don't recognize your name here, so yeah, I think we will take that under. I will move it up to A because you know what, it talks about ghosts. And you got a dead grandmother, and boom, it's A because it's very Halloweeny, and that was the point of this.
And that is our single biggest ranking jump in Trekyards ranked history. And he's not even joking, mostly.
I remember the first part's kind of creepy, and then it gets stupid, but that's fine.
Sex scandal.
Oh yeah, the vampire lady in DS9 slowly killing Jake. Yeah, the muse. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a lot that could still be added to this list for sure.
Yeah. Any more Enterprise? They weren't known for horror.
No. Don't think so. I mean, the one with Phlox, where that's one that should be on here somewhere.
I mean, no one mentioned any Picard episodes. To wit, Icheb's Eye, which is actually pretty horrific. That body horror, literal body horror, that's right up there.
Yeah, that's getting into specific moments for sure, which we have a few of on the list.
Yeah, exactly. And there's some shit in the episode as well. Like there is some. Yeah,
we kind of did the list as talking about the entire episode when we should have done moments, but that'll also be tricky because that end up with a lot more S's and A's, I think. Oh yeah, for sure.
Because then you're not defining it by anything else.
The one with Hoshi and the transporter. Yes.
Yeah.
Where she's yeah. She was only in the buffer for like what, a minute or something. But yeah. All right, guys, we'll call it there. I hope you enjoyed this horror-filled episode. Oh man. Yes, Hellrats. Hellrats 96, $5. I'm late, but did anyone mention where Worf de-evolved into a monster on TNG? Yes, it's called Genesis. Or even Changeling Martok gets in Miles' face when he was undercover in DS9. I don't remember that.
What's a Passaic reference?
Yeah. But yes, Genesis is on here. It is... Where did we put that? That is in A.
And if you look at the live, I am scrolling to find where we talked about it. It is around the 43-minute mark. We discuss it for... Oh, around the hour. Oh, it goes in reverse. Thanks, YouTube. Around the hour and something mark. But yeah, you can find it. Skim back. Yeah. Good discussion. But thank you. That much appreciated. That all helps a lot, guys. Thanks so much.
Yeah. All right. So until next time, which week tomorrow, we'll do something. He's Commander Cockins.
He's got a Foley.
Bye, guys.
Happy pre-Halloween.